Hey guys, this episode of Fall Obsession Podcast is brought to you guys in partnership with our friends at Hoop Camo, Bear River Archery, Taxicam Reveal, and the Outdoor Call Radio app. If you guys are interested in some discount codes that these partners have specifically for you Fall Obsession Podcast listeners, then I encourage y'all to go to the episode description wherever you are streaming from, and there you guys will find those codes that our partners have for y'all. Make sure that you are subscribed to the show and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. Give us a like on social media. We always appreciate that support from you guys. I'm your show host, Sam Thrash. Thank you guys for listening. My guest this week is Miss Morgan King. This is an awesome episode. You guys are going to love it. And you are listening to another Fall Obsession podcast.
The power lies within that middle ground.
Hunting transformed my life.
I think you have to be built somewhat different.
That Dale Brisby's a super puncher.
Hey, we need to get Pop-Tarts on the next Walmart order. I'm serious.
Because to come into this country and stay dedicated to that, it was pretty awesome.
If it's only for one, then you've done your job.
We have to do what's right for the wildlife, and that's our responsibility as hunters.
Fall Obsession Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Fall Obsession Podcast episode. My name is Sam Thrash. I'm hosting you guys. My guest this week, first time on the show, Morgan King. Welcome to Fall Obsession Podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, thanks for accepting the invite. Been looking forward to this one and everything. And just to give folks a little bit of background on how Fall Obsession got connected with you was actually through our mutual friends over at Bear River Archery is how we found your page and everything, and yeah, extended the invitation. So happy to have you on the show.
Yeah, that's awesome. Shout out to Justin. Look at guy out there making connections.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the shop that he's built too. Just an incredible facility. They're one of our show sponsors and everything, and we've known him for a couple of years now. And man, we were out there for the grand opening, my family and I, and it was just it was a packed house for sure.
Oh gosh, man, we moseyed down there too. I must have just missed you, and I couldn't believe how many folks were out there. I was like, "Are we gonna find a parking spot, or am I gonna have to pull up to his house?"
Yeah, we were dang near parked over by his old driveway. It was so busy over there. But I mean, that's incredible. I know that's a bigger turnout than he ever thought that he would see, and that's pretty cool. So I'm excited to see all the great things to come in the future from that place and what he's got going on over there. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, same here.
Well, to get the show started and to kind of break the ice, start the conversation, all that good stuff, for our listeners that aren't familiar with who you are, give us a little rundown on who you are, where you come from, and how you got exposed and involved in hunting and the outdoor lifestyle.
So my name is Morgan King. I'm originally from South Alabama. And I actually grew up hunting my entire life there we have a family ranch there. And I recently moved to Texas over the last couple of years. And what's funny is really, I didn't start getting involved in the industry at all until I moved here. I actually did not realize how sheltered I was to the outdoor industry because I wasn't really following people on social media. I wasn't involved with anybody in Alabama. I literally could just hit my back door and take off running to hunt anytime I wanted. So I did that my entire life and then moved here. And I remember I'd never seen an elk, an axis, none of that. Didn't know what a mule deer was. Never even heard of such a thing. Literally 5 years old. I've just been stuck in some pine trees in Alabama running through my whole life. And I moved here and I'm like, what's that? They're like, a mule deer. I'm like, interesting. So I know. They're like, how do you not know? I'm like, I'm from South Alabama. I know whitetail, I know turkeys, I know quail, I know dove. That's what I know.
That's about it. There's not many mule deer roaming around down there.
No, trust me. If there was already.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So you mentioned you could run out your back door and go hunt. So you have hunted Alabama and that kind of stuff growing up?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have a fairly large ranch out there, so a couple thousand acres that we grew up hunting on, and my dad taught me how to hunt and fish because I mean really we grew up in that household where it's like we didn't even have heat and AC in that house. So we're podunk, but we had a lot to do. We grew up ranching, had horses, did field trials all the time, we were hunting all the time.
Yeah.
And it just became a thing that I did. And I didn't realize how big it had gotten or how big that it was really until I started getting involved in the industry. And I'm like, there's a whole big world out here I didn't even know about.
So what when you say getting involved in the industry, what does that look like for you as far as because it's one thing to, just be passionate about hunting and have that as a part of your life and something that's part of your identity, something that you do and everything, but then actually like you're describing to me kind of a sudden realization of how big the outdoor industry is, and outdoor media and that kind of stuff, it sounds like, but then also plugging yourself into that. So what was that like for you?
So for me, what it was, when I moved here, I realized I was surrounded by a bunch of like the larger corporations. So I had more access to things here. And I got to a point too where I started meeting, I actually met a girl at a bar in Alabama, like the last year I was there, and no clue who she was. And we got to talking, became friends, talked for months. Then I realized that this girl was like huge in the outdoor world. And I just didn't really even understand what that meant, really.
Hmm.
Got a bunch of followers. Okay. Like, that's cool. Like, I just hunt. So we can hunt. And she kind of pushed me a little bit. And then we went to really what started all of it is I went to a dove hunt 3 years ago that was hosted by Helidra. And they do this annual hunt, and it's really a huge networking event for people. And I got to go to that as a guest, and I met so many people. And just from personality and the people being there, like people were like, "Hey, you should do this, you should do that." And I was just like, "No, man, I just like to hunt. I'm just hanging out. I don't really have an interest in like that becoming a part of my life." Because for me, watching it from the other side, it seemed exhausting to me. And I was like, I don't feel like I could like, I feel like this would get in my way of what I want to do. And then after working with one company, I realized very quickly that was not going to be the case.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can integrate this pretty naturally. And then from there, it was one brand, two brand, and then Muddy Outdoors found me and reached out. I got involved with them pretty heavily and very quickly. And it just really, like, just went womb out of nowhere. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't even believe this is happening. Like, I'm nobody. Like, I remember even talking to them, like, are you sure? Like, you sure? And they're like, we're sure, Morgan. I was like, okay, because, like, y'all know me. And they're like, that's why we picked you. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right. So, I mean, and it just overnight, I mean, it has just become, I really do love doing this. I love
Yeah.
going out. I love field testing products. I love working with companies and saying that people that I work with, I've met and I have a relationship with them, and they're good, honest people, and they're trying really hard. And I try hard to like, align myself with folks like that.
Yeah. No, there's definitely I think that just the consumer in the hunting and outdoor world right now is craving authenticity in a certain regard. Authenticity and relatability is kind of how I like to sum it up. And so like kind of what struck a chord for that when you were talking about, kind of the disbelief in man, is it are y'all sure? Like you
Yeah.
want to do this for me? And I think that we're seeing a change, and online media has done a lot for it, but we're seeing a change, and it's not only quote unquote big industry names that are, attracting these companies and stuff, because people are realizing that the followers, the people that are looking at hunting pages and looking for that education, that information, they want it to be relatable to them and their experiences. And so they're looking for people who are in similar circumstances with them, or just everyday, hunters and outdoorsmen and women. So I think that's a big reason that we're seeing a big change in that. And I'm here for it. I love it. I think that it's exactly what we need. Nothing against big brands, big names, anything like that. It's just it's one of those it's one of those things that I'm of the opinion the more down to earth you can be, the better. So
No, I agree. I mean, literally, that's why when I was like, are you sure me? I came from such a place of it was so intimidating. I'm looking at these girls' pages. I'm like, dude, I can't produce all this stuff. I can't do this stuff. I just hunt. I
mhm.
just girl that hunts, and I'm good at it, and I know I'm good at it. And they're like, that's what we want. Just take a camera with you. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll try it out, and
Yeah.
it worked.
And at the same time as this, you're also pretty involved with like with equestrian stuff and that kind of thing too, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I got huge into horses. Had them my whole life, and then moved to Texas, and didn't realize that I literally moved to the quarter horse capital of the world.
Yeah.
Like, well, I guess now I'll buy a quarter horse. That's what I did. And I was like,
Yeah.
I want to train. So I was like, well, this will be fun because eventually, I would like to take my horse backpacking and hunt off him, and go tie him up to pine trees and go stalk deer. And it's like being able to bring those together is just going to be awesome.
Yeah. No, that's a that would be it is an incredible experience. I've had the opportunity to do something like that one time in Idaho. And I had horses growing up. I don't have horses now or anything, haven't for a long time, but getting to go back in the mountains on a pack trip is pretty incredible. And you realize that you're not in there, like hunting is the secondary thing you're in there for. The primary thing is you and the animals that brought you there, their survival and their well-being. You, it's just something that being from Texas, I had never experienced before. So definitely have a healthy respect for what those animals can do in a hunting environment, that is.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And people don't realize how much it takes to get them to that point. It's like you got to go on the ride, but it's like the months and years leading up to that is like a new appreciation I have leading into that. Since I've gotten into
Hmm.
horse here, I'm just like, man, so this is what it takes. Because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, my dad trained all my horses growing up. And if it didn't work, it didn't stay.
Yeah.
So I never knew what it was like really to have like problem horses until I came here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
are you training horses right now? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Amateur.
Gotcha. And is that for other people, for yourself, for mountain trips, or kind of what's that look like for you?
It's really been for myself. Like I found a niche specifically with like problem horses just because honestly I got screwed on the first horse I bought here. Learned a heavy lesson with that. I bought this horse. I paid thousands of dollars for it. Couldn't get him right for like 3 months, but I was like, I knew I was doing the right thing and had like a lot of support from other like very high-end professional trainers. And they're like, something's wrong with your horse. Well, he had kissing spine on almost every vertebrae. And I was like, that's basically when their back, like their vertebrae like touch and they become
Yeah.
fused. And it's extremely painful. And I'm like, wow, I've been trying to do all this stuff on this horse and he's like literally crippled.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, of course, I get the back end of that deal, but that horse ended up finding a super great home. I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend a year with this horse. I'm going to get him as good as I can on the ground. I'm really going to test myself because he was so difficult for just so many ways
Yeah.
and see if I can do it. And then I did it and I was like, okay, so I'm going to go buy another one. And I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. They just keep trying. Keep getting
Yeah. I
back
mean,
after it. So
get the horse I have now, Tacova, to a point where it's like we can just go out backpacking. I want to take him shed hunting. I want to be able to like literally
oh,
take my
cool.
bow and go stalk in because horses are so much more quiet than ATVs. I think it would be a really cool challenge just in general with me and my horse. We have game cameras and all this technology to use now. I'm like, oh, this is there. Let me go see if I can get on my horse and that bow and see how close I can go stalk that, tie him up, and then throw him on my horse's back and take him home. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be so cool.
That would be a challenge with a whitetail for sure. As quiet as a horse might be, that you're in for a big challenge on that one. And I wish you all the luck. That would be incredible. And I
It's
can't
a cool
imagine it's easy
story.
to yeah, that's pretty neat. I want to remind our listeners that are tuning in live that we are live on YouTube. You guys are welcome to throw questions or stuff in the chat section. We're monitoring that. If you got any questions for Morgan, I do want to ask you about some of your hunting experiences because like you just mentioned, you grew up hunting in Alabama. You have the wildlife that you have there and everything. Had us, all of a sudden you're exposed to this world of all these other critters out there that you can hunt. And one thing that intrigued me, and I wanted to ask you in a little bit more detail about, was when you sent in your photo profile for us for this episode. You had a couple of pictures with a pronghorn in there. And I want to ask you specifically about that hunt because I've hunted pronghorn a couple times, absolutely love it, and I want to hear your story.
So I'm completely addicted now.
Yeah,
Um,
it'll do that.
dude, I'm like, I did not need to know this existed. Like, it's like every time I go on a hunt, I'm like, well, now I'm obsessed with this. And it's like, I almost hate it because I'm like, I need to figure out how to get more access to this and make it more accessible for me and learn more about it because, like you said, it's just obsessive. We did some work with Muddy Outdoors earlier in the season, and I met a girl there named Jess. And we didn't really like click at the meetings. We were kind of there to work, but they brought some females in and we were going over some clothing details at the time. And we ended up like kind of had a bit of a mess with like a company, and me and her were able to relate, and I ended up having to call her to like clarify some things, like, hey, I hate to call you about this, but yada yada yada. And then like we got along and figured so much out on like a 30-minute phone call. The next day she called me and goes, hey, me and my husband are going to hunt Wyoming this Friday, do you want to go? And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I was like, what are we hunting? She was like, pronghorn. I was like, what's a pronghorn? She was like, excuse me? I was like, what's a pronghorn? Like, she's like an antelope. I'm like, there's no antelope in the U.S. So like high fence, and she was like, honey, no, Google it. And I looked it up. I'm like, man, these things look crazy.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And then my husband's like, you don't know them. I'm like, I'm about to.
Yeah, I'm going hunting anyway.
Really going. I was like, yeah, I'm going. They're gonna pick me up at the airport. And he's like, geez Louise, okay, be careful, have fun. So it's the first time I'm really meeting them. That's just me. I've never met a stranger in my life. I could talk to a tree, honestly.
Yeah, so y'all are just loading up and heading to Wyoming just on a
Yeah.
whim for the weekend, basically. So
Yeah, they drove in and picked me up at one of those airports in I think it was South Dakota, because that's where we were driving through, I think Rapid City. And they scooped me up in Rapid City, and we drove another hour and a half into Wyoming, landed there, talked the whole way, slept, woke up, and went hunting the next morning. I mean, we
wow.
just did off immediately. And we went out there, and we're driving up, and I rolled the back window down and had the rifle out, and Josh turned around and goes, what are you doing? I was like, shh, there's Cody over there. And he goes, we're about to shoot pronghorn, Morgan. I was like, so I can't shoot it? And he was like, no, put your gun up. I was like, man,
We ain't here for that.
think about to blow our whole hunt. It's 7:30 in the morning. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I thought we were out here to kill stuff. My bad.
So did you just get to tag along, or did you actually get the chance to hunt yourself?
Yeah, he said when we went up there, we went and bought tags that night at, I'm not saying it right. I know it's not Menards, but the people that are from there know the correct way to pronounce that. I physically can't do it. Got our tags, and I was like, you just buy these things at the counter? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm gonna do this all the time. And went the next morning, and I actually shot my pronghorn first. We kind
Awesome.
of did the road, like the cruise, scout, and then stalk is kind of how we did this. I don't know the correct way to do it, but that's how we did it. And it proved way more challenging than I thought it was going to. You know, you're spot and stalk, and I'm just like, oh, those son of a guns are spooky. I thought whitetails were spooky. We got on the first stalk, and I knew that the pronghorn, I don't know, I got corrected. Some people said don't call it a pronghorn, call it an antelope. So I'm gonna switch back and forth.
I know what you're talking about. Everybody here knows what you're talking about, so
I
you're
don't like
good.
pronghorn, like antelope. So the locals like it when you call it an antelope. But I was like, all right. But when I think that, you know, when I think antelope, not that. But
Yeah,
whenever that hill,
it's one of those weird deals. It's like it's, and I'm trying to remember because also got educated on it. But we went to Montana, and up there they were saying that um, it's pronghorn is like the species of antelope or something that it is. But I honestly I can't remember. There was somebody that was getting offended one way or
like,
the other that we were
it's like
referring to it the wrong
the
way.
genre and then like the subgenre of what the species is, and then you have like the actual species, and they're like, it is an antelope, and I'm like,
Mhm.
in four, you can call it whatever
Understood.
you want. It's gonna
Even though
die.
my tag said that's what it was, they were saying no, it's an antelope, and I'm like, well, this tag actually it says pronghorn
Yeah,
on the tag, so.
I was like, I got my
But
tag. But you know, I got my tag sitting right there.
oh, there you go.
See what it says.
Yeah, we'll see what Fish and Game
I
has
didn't
to
even.
say about it.
This thing's still bloody. This is pronghorn.
There you go.
Suck it.
Proof enough for me. So,
That's funny. I looked over. I was like, I think I actually have that tag sitting right here.
anyway, so I sorry to derail it on the tag and everything, but
Oh my gosh.
you jog my memory a little bit with that. So you guys are, I think you were on your first stalk or something is what you were telling us about.
Yeah, we had walked up, and you know, we're doing a lot of content while we're there, and I'd never been filmed hunting before, but I was just like, look, I'll do better if you just like, I know I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, and they don't, you know me from Adam. They don't know my experience besides what I've told them. And I was like, just give me the benefit of the doubt. I know how to hunt an animal. It can't be much different than anything else I've hunted. So just kind of let me do my thing. And if I mess it up too bad, then we'll switch up. And I mean, I'm on my hands and knees crawling. He's behind me with the camera. She's on the other side. And I was just like, stop him to get over top of the hill. Well, I did. And about the time I went to put the rifle up, I think they saw like the camera turn up or something. And he just like looked up and I mean, they were gone. And I mean, gone like 700 yards gone. And like,
Yeah, like over the next hill gone. Yeah.
whoa. And he was like, I told you they were spooky. I'm like, I think that was you. I don't think that was me. He's like, no, I think it was too. So again, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Didn't get that one, decided to move on. We probably drove around for 45 minutes and I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this would be easier. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it would be too. Like, I mean, you're driving by herds of them coming down there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I look like a 4-year-old in the window. Like, I literally look like I'm smashed against the window. And I'm like, is that an elk? Never seen an elk before in my life until that hunt.
Wow.
They're their life because they're like, I can't believe like we get to watch her experience all this for the first time. And they're like, I've never seen anyone this happy before. I'm like, y'all have no idea. Like, this is the most amazing thing. Like, I don't even have to kill anything. And I would have been so happy just to be there and see so many species. And there's muleys jumping around on the hills. And I'm like, can I shoot that? He's like, no, ma'am. I'm like, okay. But like, when can I? And he's like, oh my gosh, girl. You're just great.
Need to get out in the woods or get out west a little bit more.
I really, really, really want to get more involved in hunting out west. It's just amazing out there.
Yes.
But we got the second stalk and we're kind of looking around. I don't know if they call them bulls or what, but we'll say males. I don't know the correct term, to be 100% honest with you. Literally my first rodeo with these things. And
on the pronghorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a buck. I think that's
okay,
what they call it.
I think you're right. I think buck and does.
Yeah.
Okay. Too many critters out there, I'm telling you.
Yeah, there's a lot. Hard to keep up with.
So we got on, he's looking at a buck, and it's like, I'm Googling stuff that whole night, like, what's a good pronghorn look like? Because I don't know. I'm trying to, like, get an idea of, like, you know, I knew we were going to have options. So it's like, I don't want to take the first thing I see. I would like to be a little choosy, you know, don't know if the opportunity is going to present itself again. So I'm trying to, like, use the opportunity I have. So I get a pretty decent idea over the research I did that night about what I was looking for. And he's looking, I'm like, man, I don't think that's a super great bull. He's like, how would you know? It's your first time here. I was like, the internet exists. And he was like, all right, it's not a good bull. Let's keep going. I was like, all right. And we go and we're looking, and I just happen to catch one out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, dude, there's one right there. And they're like, where? I'm like, dude, he's got to be 400 yards away from us. He's laying down, looking to the left. And they're like, where? I'm like, dude, okay, see the rock? Like, yeah. We're going through all this trying to figure out where this thing's at, but like,
yeah, he's in the middle of the open, right next to the rest of the open.
Moving at all, like, you got to find him. Like, I just caught movement, like literally that. Like, I just saw like the tip of his horn turn and just happened to just like, what's that? And saw him. We finally get eyes on him. He's laying down. He's like, he's pretty decent, but are like, do you want to commit or do you want to ride? I'm like, he's laying down. He might stay there. Like, let's cruise. Cruise down, see another one. And he's like, I think the one laying down's better. I'm like, all right. So we ease back, walk up, go over to like the bottom of a hill, bottom of a valley. And there's a second valley and then he's going up. And I'm like, can y'all range it? And he's like, he's 413 yards away. And I'm like, I'm going to send it. And he was like, what? I was like, I'm sending it. I was like, what's this sighted in at on center? I've never shot this rifle before. It's their rifle. He's like 100 yards. And the second one centered 200 yards. I'm like, all right, so if I drop, and I'm like doing math in my head, like super quick. He's like, you better make a decision before that thing gets up. I'm like, shh, I'm counting. And I'm like trying to figure out the radicals on there and what the MOA is going to be on this gun I've never shot. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go up 3 and I'm just going to top center punch it, laying down. And we're going to hope that it sticks and I don't make a very unethical shot because I'm not going to be able, like, happy with myself if this doesn't count. But I was pretty confident I could do it because I'm a rifle hunter.
Yeah. And what kind of rifle is this?
So this was a Taurus 270.
Okay.
With a silencer on it. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. 50 grain bullets. I mean, literally just a really simple built rifle.
Yeah. All right.
Popped it out on a tripod, literally got on my knees and was looking there and just went to say something. And I went, shh, I'm going to shoot it. She was like, okay. And I shot, and I didn't realize how far it was, but I was like, I had time to look up and go, damn, I missed. And then you hear it, boom. And I went, I hit it. And Josh was like, oh my God, she hit it. And I was like, where did I hit it? He's like, I'm looking, I'm looking, I'm looking. Well, at that point, it jumps up, and he's just like, shoot it again. And I was like, what? And he's like, shoot it. And I was like, well, okay. Re-racked it, sent another one, ended up like hitting it perfectly in the lungs the first time, but it was like a little high. So I sent a second one and hit low, and then he just hit the ground. And I'm like, I literally turned around and I was like, I think I'm going to pee or something, is what I said. Like, I was just so excited, and they start dying laughing. It's like, did you say you were going to pee? I'm like, dude, I'm freaking out right now. Like, what do I do? And they're
Yeah,
like,
it's an insane experience
go
for
get
sure.
it. And
That's
then
awesome.
it had a broken leg. So then I felt even better about, I mean, it was a bad broken leg. Like, that's why I was laying down, but we couldn't
Mm.
tell that until it got up and tried to like run. I saw something dangle, but I was also just trying to get the shot in because I wasn't really sure like how good he was hit at the time.
Hmm.
And went up there, and sure enough, like a clean break right in the middle. I mean, that leg was just dangling. I'm like, I don't know how this thing is alive. It had been like that for a while. I mean, it was
Yeah.
hanging on tissue. It almost healed over. I was like, this thing is tough.
Yeah. No, I mean, that definitely makes you, not that you weren't already feeling good about the kill, but you understand like, okay, well, I put this animal out of its suffering and everything at the same time as filling my tag, accomplishing my goal and stuff like that. That's always an admirable thing at the same time,
I
I feel
know,
like. So
the ethical shot, the first shot, and I was just like, man, I literally just got a threefer. Like, I couldn't do this any differently, or wouldn't have picked a better pronghorn if I tried. Like,
yeah,
it just laid out so perfectly. And then when I got up and realized that he was hurt, and I was like, man, I did this thing a huge service.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that man, that's awesome. Have you shot that far before just on a range or in the past in your own experience, or was that the first time making a shot like that?
That was the furthest rifle shot I've ever made for an animal, like just for our setups or whatever. We don't practice that enough.
Right.
Um, And then really the way that whitetail hunting set up in Alabama, you know, you might be shooting across a 250-yard field, but it's like, it's so wooded and pined up there. I mean, you don't get opportunities to shoot animals like that. But it's like we have a range set up, so it's like I'm very comfortable with rifles in general because I shot one my whole life. And I'm around it enough where I was like, yeah, I can do this. It'll be fine. Like, I know enough to know that I can do this.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. What an experience for sure. Did the folks you went with, did they fill their tags as well?
They sure did. Josh got his like an hour and a half after, and then the last 2 hours we got Jess's.
Awesome.
And it was so cool. I mean, they're all unique. We had them all laid out in the barn overnight, and I'm like, you're just gonna leave them hanging up in the barn? They're like, it gets freezing here. I'm like, oh yeah. Like,
Yeah, they'll be fine.
that in Alabama would be rooming by midnight.
Yeah, no joke. In Texas as well. That's one thing that always blew my mind. I've had the opportunity to hunt Montana, Colorado, Idaho, and on all those, mainly the Colorado and the Idaho one, it was, you leave meat or an animal hanging overnight and it ain't no thing out there. And I was
So I'm
just
like, what about all the predators? And they're like, what predators? That Cody you tried to smoke 4 hours ago? I'm like, well, he might. And they're like, he's not gonna bother it. I'm like, dude, they would snatch that stuff out of the bed of your truck in Alabama. Like, you literally just can't do it.
yeah.
I mean, you leave your deer sitting in Alabama for 2 hours, come back trying to track it, and it's liable to be drug off.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. They're a little bit more merciless down in the South, I feel like, with some of that stuff. So
And the populations are so different.
oh yeah, absolutely. So have you been back? Is that your only pronghorn experience, or have you been able to head
Yeah, that
back
was
out
it.
there?
That was just this fall.
Okay, so that was very recent
Yeah,
then.
very recent. So we are planning to go back out this year with the same crew and get my husband to tag along this year. It was just so last minute, like I can kind of get away with that.
Yeah.
But hoping to get him out on the experience too, because he's
Yeah.
like me. He has way less exposure than me, to no fault of his own. But I'm like, dude, I'm just telling you, the second you put your hands on these things, you're gonna be mind blown.
Yeah. No,
Especially like the density of the fern things. Like Josh was like, touch its fur, and I'm like, he's like, no, touch it. And I went to push. I was like, oh my God, why is it doing that? Why does it feel like that?
yeah, it is very, very unique. I shot one in it would have been, I guess it was 2018. I shot one with my bow in Montana, and I had I had it shoulder mounted, and then had ended up my wife wanted the rest of the hide, like the back half of the hide, tanned and everything. And so it sits over the back of a chair in my office and everything. But yeah, it is a very, very unique hide for sure. Those animals are absolutely insane.
I never felt anything like that. And we got a hold of several species in Africa. So it was like to feel that. And I'm like, this is not anything like I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I had so many preconceptions about what that animal would be like. And then when I finally get down to it, I'm like, I was wrong about everything. Okay.
Yeah, they are very unique creatures. And the weird thing that, I've been to Montana twice now, 2018 and 2019 hunting them. And the weird thing was I couldn't figure out why they exist. They're just there.
Hard.
It's so
I'm like,
weird.
this is the most random thing I could even consider being in the US.
Yeah.
Like out
Yeah.
of all the species I know exist here, that is the most random to me.
Yeah. They
So,
they they don't do anything.
no, nothing. They are useless.
Yeah.
And the locals can't stand them.
Yeah, no, they're so unique. They're so fast. They're just it's pretty incredible. And I had no idea how to hunt them. I'm 100% of the opinion that you when you go out west, if you're somebody that's not familiar with hunting out there, I think we're all just like sponges, and you absorb so much more information so much faster than hunting back home. And I get it, hunting back home, you have year after year after year, and you learn and grow in that. But when you're going out west, you're doing research before, you're soaking everything in during, you're even thinking about stuff after. And I feel like you hone the Western hunting skill faster if you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think back to my first stalk on the first day, and I'm archery hunting these critters. And the my very first stalk, I had a decent buck at like 38 yards. And I didn't know what was a good one and what wasn't. And I didn't take a shot. And the dude that
Oh
invited me up
no.
there, he's looking at me like, "Are you crazy? Why did," and
What
he
are you
asked me,
doing?
he's like, "Why did
You're
you
like,
not
I don't
shoot
know.
that thing?" I was like, "Was I supposed to?" I don't know. So, and long story short, we hunted hard for 3 days. And then on the third day, it warmed up. And I went in the afternoon. We stalked in the morning, had a couple of busted stalks. And the afternoon, I went and, because it warmed up that day, I went and sat on a water hole and ended up shooting an absolute hammer of a pronghorn. Like I'd been there 20 minutes, and it
Oh
just
my gosh.
I couldn't believe it. It was the day before we'd been driving around, and we're hunting in this area that's like it's kind of checkerboarded and mixed and matched on, private, public, and then we had a big chunk of private that we had permission on. There was private we didn't have permission on. There was some public mixed in. And we saw this stud of a pronghorn right off the road, got video of him and everything on a piece of private we didn't have access to. So we just sat there and videoed him. And we're thinking, man, that would be so cool to kill a buck like that, or to see a buck
Yeah,
like
could you
that. And
imagine that being my first pronghorn?
yeah, can you imagine that? And he was very unique because his cutter on I believe it was his left side was broke, but it wasn't broke off. It was like hanging there. It was like halfway broke off.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, man, he's an old fighter and everything. So the very next day, flash forward back to that water hole, I'd had two busted stalks. I was hot and sweaty because I'd been crawling around, and the guy I went with, Drew, he had gone to scout a bigger piece of public. He's like, hey, if it doesn't work out today, we're gonna go a little ways farther than we've been so far down to this place. I'm gonna go check it out tonight while you hunt the private. And so I slide into this water hole, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I just see this pronghorn running over the hill and running down toward the water hole. And I mean running. I'm like, oh dang. So I have my binoculars up, I'm watching him, and I see that he's a good one. So I start getting ready because I'm like, this dude's gonna come in. And as I'm watching through binoculars, I get one glimpse of what looks like a busted cutter. And I'm like, I'm not going to think about it. I don't want to think about it right now. I'm just going to focus on shooting this thing. So he comes in, I shoot him at 41 yards, smoke him, watch him run up the hill and then tumble back down, walk up on him, and it's the same buck from the day before.
Oh gosh. I bet
Absolute
you were
hammer.
freaking out.
Yeah, I called Drew. I was extremely excited. It was just an experience. I know I shot him over a water hole, but yeah, I never experienced anything like that before and with a bow. And I ended up, he's very symmetrical. So I ended up having, and the cutter, again, it was still hanging there, but it broke off even more
Mm-hmm.
when he tumbled. So I ended up having the taxidermist repair it, and he did a phenomenal job. He did a great job with it. But then after I got the mount back, I started sharing it pictures with my friends. They're like, dude, you score that thing? Did you score that thing? No, I haven't. They're like, you need to score it. So I just did a rough unofficial tape on it, and like minimum to get into the Pope and Young record book for pronghorns like 67 inches, and he
Yeah.
was almost 70.
Woo!
And I was like, well, that would be pretty cool to have a buck like in the record book. So I started looking at what you had to do, but because I had that cutter repaired, it's
You couldn't
technically
do.
it's considered
Oh
artificial
my
and you can't enter it.
gosh.
So which I mean, I don't lose sleep over it because that wasn't my goal with the whole thing. But
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, man, if I just left that thing hanging, then maybe. But anyway, it's still that's I was blessed to have the that buck as the quality of buck that I got to shoot and everything. And it was I felt that was my very first Western hunt ever. I hadn't hunted anything out west at the time, and yeah, it was a certainly a experience that changed my perspective on hunting in a lot of ways. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was my first hunt out like out that way out west. I never hunted anything else like that. I'd never
yeah,
even seen elk or a mule deer in person until that hunt.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like
It's
I look a kid in a candy shop out there. I'm like, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that?
yeah, it's such a cool experience and everything. I had a rough go of it when I went back in 2019. Because we went back and we went to that big public area that he was scouting in case
Mhm.
that we needed to bolt because we didn't have access to the private on the second time. And we hunted hard for a week, and I ended up eating a tag sandwich on that because of just how crazy it is to try to get in on those critters with a bow. It just the closest I got was uh like 124 yards, I think, to a hammer. Another hammer buck would have beaten my buck from the year before. He was an absolute stud.
Jesus.
And I'm there at 124 on day 5 after 5 days of rough hunting, like, should I?
Bend
Yeah,
it.
and I mean, I go out west. I'm ready to fling it at 100, but I'd never made a shot like that. And thankfully, the smarter hunter got a hold of me on that one because with the wind in hindsight, I was like, yeah, there's no way I would have made that shot. But I
I'd
certainly,
never try that with a bow. I would do some weird stuff with a rifle, but bows, mm-mm.
yeah, they're a different animal for sure. So, and not to, I kind of got off on a rabbit trail with my story, but um, tell me about archery and how you got involved in that. We already mentioned Bear River and the mutual connection there, but
Yep.
where did your interest in archery come from?
So it actually started it was when I turned 21. And to be honest with you, because I had access to hunt deer all the time, at that point in my life, I had easily, and I mean easily, killed over 150 whitetail. No questions asked.
Wow.
I was working in a deer processor for 3 years then, and I was deered out. And I mean, we're a month in the season, I didn't even go out. My dad's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it." He's like, "You're not feeling it?" I was like, "I know, absurd, insane, all the things. Probably need to get mentally checked. I don't know, but I'm not feeling it." I was like, I just don't. It just doesn't seem that fun to go out and just shoot it with a rifle right now."
Yeah.
He's like, "Go buy a bow." I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go buy a bow." He's like, "No, seriously, go up to Bennett's Archery." This is when I lived in Alabama still. He said, "Go buy a bow, call and I'll pay for it. Go get it set up." And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "I'll go try it out. I don't know anybody that bow hunts. Nobody's ever bow hunted at our place. It's just rifle hunters." Went up there. Mr. Bennett set me up on a bow. I shot it for 4 days, took it to a blind. Joe walked out at 12 yards, smoked her. I was like, this archery stuff is easy.
Wow.
Got addicted
12
immediately.
yards.
12 yards. I know. I didn't realize, like, I don't even count that these days. Like, I literally don't. I was like, man, like, literally a 4-year-old could have done that. And that's almost not an exaggeration. Like, the more I think about it, I was like, as I got older, it was one of those things like, man, she didn't know I was there. There was really no game in it. It wasn't very sportsmanlike to me. There was nothing wrong really with what I did. It's just my personal take on it. Looking back, I wish I wouldn't have done it the way I did. But it was like I was also just shaking like a leaf on a tree. Like, she comes out 12 yards. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this actually going to happen? Like, am I going to be able to shoot a doe with a bow? And I mean, you can hear my knock, like my arrow clicking on my holder, just tick, 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 tick. And I'm like, I gotta do something sooner. I'm gonna drop this whole thing. Like, literally,
that's awesome.
Is that? And I'm like, think.
Yeah.
I literally went back the next morning, built my confidence because I was like, I'm gonna shoot from the stand. Went to a further spot to a stand. I was like, I'm gonna hunt out of the stand. Well, I'd never shot a bow out of a stand before, and I didn't realize how different that was gonna be. In my head, I was like, same thing. Had two does come out. They were probably 20 yards. I didn't even have a rangefinder. That's how much I didn't know.
Wow.
I'm like, I knew how it was set up. I knew I had 10, 20, 30. So I'm like, I don't know. It looks about 20. We'll send it. Well, I didn't check any of my stuff. I didn't know that my arrows, the tips of them, had come loose. My nock was loose. So I get set up, pull back on her, shoot, and the arrow goes like 5 feet under her. But like, and something kind of like slapped me, and I'm just like literally almost dropped my bow out of the stand because like as soon as the shot went off, I knew something was bad wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like looking around, and I'm like holding my bow, and I like backed it up. I was like, "What happened? What just happened?" And I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm looking at my arrow. I'm like, "How did I mess that up so bad?" And the doe's like, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, "You know what? I'm not even gonna knock another arrow. You win." No clue what just happened, but I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
Got down there, looked at my arrow, didn't even bother really looking at my bow. My nock was still on my string, and I'm like, whoops. Like, I didn't know, and I literally didn't do it. Dropped it right then and there. I was like, whatever, I killed one. It's fine. And then I went back to rifle hunting and didn't touch it again until last year. I was like, man, I really want to get into archery hunting. I don't know anybody really that does it.
Yeah.
I was like, and I want to learn the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just looked up shops close to me that looked like legit bow shops, like they would spend time with me. And I went to one, and they wouldn't really give me the time of day, and it kind of seemed like it was a hassle that I was there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I'll try another one. Like, that's not really the experience I'm looking for. I need someone's time with this because I don't know what I'm doing. And then I called Justin and went up to Bear River, and I met him, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, how do I know you? And he's like, you don't. I'm like, I do. I just don't know how. And I'm looking. I was like, TikTok. Dude, I've been following you on TikTok for like a year. And he's like, really? I'm like, yes. I had no idea that was the same person.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, that's me. It's like something you just like mindlessly watch. I watched his videos, didn't realize it was whatever. And I'm like, let's do this thing. And that's I pulled back almost every brand of bow he had in that shop till we found something that felt good on my natural draw cycle, and it just happened to be an elite. Got it, set it up, and he was like, all right, we're going to fix this and this and this and this, and then we're going to do it. And that's what we did.
Awesome. Yeah.
And he's like, go home and shoot this thing 50 times a day. And I said, yes, sir. And that's what I did. And then I went home and wanted to shoot. I felt like pretty confident I could shoot my, like a first buck with it that season. But none of our spots in Alabama were really set up for bow hunting. The stands aren't. So I'm like, well, this is going to be challenging all in itself because I can't get up. I can't sit, really. I can't stand up. I can't put the rest down. So I'm like, I'm just kind of in like a bad spot. And we kind of we don't ground blind hunt out there anymore. So we had none of that. So I'm like, whatever, we'll wing it. It'll be fine. Didn't really have the buck I wanted. Of course, you know that situation. He shows 5 days on camera. And then I drive 12 hours back to Alabama to go shoot him that morning. I was like, he's going to be at the stand. He's been there every day. Didn't see him the rest of season. Kid you not. Day, opening bow day. Like, I'm going down there. I'm hunting the opener. No one's going to stop me. And I'm going to shoot that buck. And everybody's like, heck yeah, get after it. Didn't see him the whole rest of season.
Oh, that's the worst. I hate
Shoot
that.
a buck with a bow in Alabama. Just rifle. Couldn't even get one within 100 yards of me all season. Every time I had my bow, 100 yards away.
Wow.
The 2 bucks I took down there were 60 yards away with my rifle, and I'm like, go figure.
Yeah, that's how
take
it
my
always goes.
bow. Oh yeah, I took my husband. We sat on a double, and I was like, I don't know. I think this dumb tall 10 point's going to come out because he's coming out behind my stand. So I put one up in the cow pasture because I kept getting, I was like, I know he's coming out from somewhere. I mean, I was hand and foot tracking that deer for days, trying to find out where he was bedding, where he was cutting through to get to that other camera, tracked every trail down, and then finally found his bedding spot in the middle of our cow pasture. And I was like, found it. This is where he's bedding. I was like, so he's walking from that camera. So I set a camera up on that fence line, caught him jumping that fence every day and going to bed there in the middle of the day. So I was like, oh, I got him now.
Yeah.
Like a week and a half of straight foot tracking, didn't even hunt anything else. I was like, I'm going to find this deer. Found him. And then the day I sat that stand, he came from across the road and then bedded. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Oh man.
He wasn't going back that way, so he had to be going somewhere else, right? Well, I didn't think that part through.
Yeah.
Watched him jump the fence and go in bed. And I was like, I'm stalking him. I'm gonna kill this deer. Got up, stalked him, and literally choked. My adrenaline got so high, I couldn't pull the bow back.
Oh man.
I mean, I was probably, if I had to like guess, it was probably like 36 yards from his bedding spot. And I mean, I was sneaking, like hands, knees, crawling, sneaking on this thing. I'm looking at every leaf, everything on the ground. I was like, I cannot set this deer off. I can't. I'm like intentionally stepping on cow patties because I knew it'd be softer. I'm covered in cow crap. Like, this is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Get up and I like hit something. I don't know what I hit, but I hit something and I just like held my breath and closed my eyes. I was like, please, dear God. But then I could like, I'm looking at the ground with my eyes closed and I'm like trying not to breathe. And I hear him get up and I'm like, damn, I just blew my whole hunt. I should have just sat still. And then you're going through all the things you could have done different. Cause like, I know I blew it. And then I like kind of just open one eye and I look up and he's like, I'm like, oh God. I'm just going to see how fast I can get drawn back and we're going to send it. I literally, I'm like this shaking, like my arrow, tap, 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 tap. It's hitting the thing and he's still staring at me. I was like, he's giving me the opportunity of a lifetime and I am still blowing it. What is that? I'm like, your worst nightmare if I can get myself together.
Oh my gosh.
Got my arrow knocked and went to pull back and like literally like I'm just shaking so hard like I couldn't even like build the strength even through the adrenaline to get the bow pulled back. And I literally just like huffed and just like threw my bow in my lap and just stared at him. And he was like, looked at me for probably 6 more seconds and then left. And I was like, bye, buddy. Didn't see him again.
Golly.
I was like, oh my gosh, everybody makes this sound so easy, but it's not.
No, it absolutely is not. It sounds like you get one heck of an adrenaline dump when you archery hunt.
Holy smokes, it's insane actually. Like I posted my first video, so I did end up taking my first buck this year, but I took it out of Texas. I just had a buddy that's got a spot up here kind of close to the house and he called, he was like, man, did you get a buck with that bow yet? And I'm like, dude, no. I was like, I gave up seasons out in Alabama, like I'm done. He was like, this last weekend here for a buck. I'm like, cool. You want a cookie? No, and they've been tagged out for like 2 months. So I'm like, don't even want to talk to him. He's like, well, I got this nasty 6-point up here causing bad problems. He's killed 2 of my younger deer. Like, I would love it if you went and shot him. And I'm like, please don't play with my feelings right now.
Yeah, for real.
He's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I need him dead. Nobody wants to burn a tag on him. He's a cold deer. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, say less.
I'm there. And he was like, cool, I'll drop you a pin. Or like, he's like, better yet, let's go meet there tonight. Look, I'll show you where the stand is. And he's like, can you get around? I'm like, yeah, you show me once, I can get there again. And he showed it. He said, you walk through that tree, turn left, stands right there, crawl up it, and he's going to come right down this way. He's been doing it every morning or every afternoon. I said, all right. I said, I'm going to go sit all day. He's like, well, I wouldn't. I would just go sit in the afternoon. I was like, well, if it's okay with you, I like all day sits.
Yeah.
The last one I'm going to get till next year. So like, I just want to be out here. And he was like, oh, that's fine. So get up there that morning, sit, saw 8 bucks that morning. And I'm like, wow, sure wish I could kill one of those. You're trying to be respectful. And it's funny, like my dad's a bit of an outlaw. Like he doesn't do anything bad, but he'll push it every ounce he can. And I was texting him like, dude, I was sending him Snapchats. I'm like, look at these freaking toads. It's like 3-4-year-old absolute studs together. I'm like, you just don't see this in Alabama. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Dad's like, why isn't he dead? I'm like, I'm not allowed to shoot those. And I know he's going to see this, and that's fine. I'm not mad about what I took. But
Hey.
sure enough, crawled out for lunch, saw all those bucks. I was like, my adrenaline's pumping anyway from seeing so many deer. I think that morning alone, I saw 18 deer. I was like,
Wow.
no, it's like, it was heavy. There was no wind for the whole day. It's like the high was like 55 degrees. Like for me, ideal. Most perfect hunt weather. I don't have to dress heavy. It's quiet. There's no wind. I can see, I can hear everything. Perfectly like sunny. Get over there and sit that afternoon. And I think we had maybe 10, 15 minutes of shooting light left. And he's texted me. He's like, is he there? I'm like, no, but every other buck in the county is.
Yeah,
So,
they're all
like,
here.
if he doesn't show up, he's like, you still have tomorrow. I'm like, fine, I'll wait. Because I'm like, there's several other bucks here I could shoot if you're wondering.
Lots
He's
of
like, looking
opportunities.
at him on the camera. I'm like, all right, I'll let it slide. And then I was just sitting there watching, and I think 6 bucks had come in at that time. And I think there was 12 does on me again. And I'm like,
Golly.
this is insane. And I'm scanning every time an antler would come out of the woods. Like, is that him? I'm like, no. And I've seen one picture of this deer too. So like, it's not already enough pressure. I'm looking at one game cam picture of this deer I've never seen in real life. I'm like, hope I shoot the right deer. This is going to be real awkward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I looked at the picture one more time and I'm like, all right, I got in my head, I know this deer's rack at this point. I'm like, that's not him. 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 2 more bucks come in. I'm like, no, that's not him. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, that's almost today. And I look up, I'm like, I got like 10 minutes to make this happen. Like, he ain't coming. And then sure enough, about the time I say that, I literally was like taking my quiver off my wrist to start packing my stuff up. Cause I'm like, I was going to text him and be like, hey, you're going to have to come get me or I'm going to blow my spot out. You know, you got to come push all these deer off of me from the front side because I can't get down. And I was literally about to text him. And then I see like, I just noticed the claw that he had. And I was like, no way. I'm like, that's him. He's here. He's
Showed
here.
up.
Oh my God, I get to shoot him. I was like, oh my God, I have to shoot it. And then I'm like, oh no. He shows up and like, oh my gosh, he took forever to quarter too. I'm like, I'm literally gonna run out of legal shooting light if this deer doesn't do something different.
Yeah, that's the
Jumps up
worst.
in front of the tree, quarters, then comes around and is facing me dead on. Does he walk forward? No, he backs up to where he was. I'm like, why are we reversing? Deer never walk backwards. What is happening right now? Like, this is like like a phenomenon is happening right now. He's possessed, and they know that I'm up here. And all the demons, the hunting demons, are working against me right now. And he goes back behind the tree, and I just see his antlers. Then he goes and turns around and fights some deer, and he's back and forth fast. And I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And I'm like, I knew I couldn't draw because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to hold that.
Yeah.
I'm new to art, and I was like, I can't hold that for 3 minutes. I just can't. I can't
Yeah.
hold it for.
And you got so many eyes on you too. Golly.
And my adrenaline like is pumping. I take my hand off my bow. I like literally my whole hand palm and edge of my shirt soaking wet. My adrenaline's so bad. I mean,
Oh,
I'm just
man.
together, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like trying to like slowly wipe my hands, and I won't take my eyes off of him. And then I saw him go behind that tree. I'm like, okay, it's now or never. Either he's going to go forward and I'm just taking the shot the second I see the shoulder, or when he rolls back, I'm going to take that shot. But a shot's being made. It's got to.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I was like, I'm just going to draw back. I drew back, and as soon as I did, perfect time, he takes 2 steps out from in front of that tree and stopped. And I was like, oh, my shot. Like,
Yeah,
you see me?
take it.
Like, it's so much going on in my head, but like in the video, like I'm just frozen. But it's like in my head, I felt like I was doing a lot more until I watched it back, and I was like, hey, good job. You actually did pretty good. I literally like, I felt perfect. Like, it felt perfect. And I'm guessing yardage because I didn't have time to get the finder out. Like, I tried to when I first got there. I've tried to get a habit of like, okay, marking spots in case I get in the position like I was where I can't move around too much. So I was like, I know that the front of that tree is like 34 yards. So if it goes and wraps around, like it's probably 35, 36, something like that. So I was like, I just sent it. And I remember releasing, and I heard it pop him. And I was like you see in the video, like just shocked. I was like, I got him. And I'm like freaking out. The video's like, and I looked at the camera, I was like, I got him. Like, I couldn't even believe I hit the deer. Saw him run, and I was like, man, I hope I got a good shot. Like, it felt good. I saw it go like right behind the shoulder. I was like, I know he's hit good. My phone's ringing off the hook because the guy had a camera set up. He's watching all this go down. And like, he sees it run off, and then he texts me because he couldn't see like from him stepping out to going out. He was like, dude, he texted me. He was like, you missed your buck. I was like, no, I didn't.
Got him.
I sure didn't, dude. I was like, I smoked him. He calls me. He's like, where is he? I'm like, I don't know, man. He hauled. I hope he didn't go far. I'll wait for him to get out. Got run up a tree by a possum while I was waiting. Dude, it's pitch black. I can barely see. I got all this stuff in my hand. My adrenaline's still going crazy. It took me like 10 minutes to get out of the tree, like safely, because like I couldn't even get my harness unhooked because I'm like, oh
Shaking
my God,
so bad. That's awesome.
I can get it. And I'm just shaking. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit in the tree for a minute because I physically can't move. I'm shaking so bad. Like it was the best feeling in the world. And then immediately followed with, oh no, now I have to bow hunt the rest of my life. Great. Wonderful.
Rifle hunting ain't gonna do it anymore.
Dude, no. I mean, it really didn't. I shot a buck after that with a rifle and it was cool, but it was a cold deer and I was just like, ah, whatever. Somebody's like, I need him herded out. And I was like, got it. Went and took him. Was happy to have it, happy to have me, but the feeling was not the same.
Yeah. No, archery will do that. I've been bow only for the last 12, 13 years and for the same reason. I've loved it so much and it's what I want to do. I've gone some crazy places and done some hunts that people literally told me you're crazy for hunting here with a bow, but I've wanted to do it. I uh I got to I got to kill a mule deer spot and stalk in Colorado, not the Colorado that everybody thinks of, like
Yeah.
northeastern Colorado, flatland Colorado, Nebraska feeling Colorado. And yeah, it was one of those deals where it's rifle country, and I was told that by the landowner, like this is rifle country, and you're crazy. And day three, I put a stalk on a mule deer and shot him at 28 yards, and
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
just those are the things that like you don't get that rifle hunting. Rifle hunting, you see that deer bedded, you get into a good spot where you can take a long shot and reach out and touch him, and you dump him. But with archery, you can't do that, and you got to play the wind, and everything's got to be right. And I've been hooked ever since. I am gonna have to swallow my pride a little bit because my son, he's 8 now, and he's got the hunting bug, and
Oh, here we
he's
go.
just not in the position where archery hunting is the best thing when he's there, right? There's opportunities to archery hunt with him, but he's going to start hunting with a rifle, and when he's hunting with me, the opportunities to make his experience more enjoyable, certainly with a rifle. So I'm going to have to swallow my pride a little bit. For a few
Just a
years at
little.
least until he's archery hunting. So,
It's still gonna be so rewarding. Like I remember
oh
asking
yeah,
my like what that felt like as a parent to watch that, and he's just like, "There's nothing like it.
yeah,
Nothing."
yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
excited for
that's
that.
a cool story for sure. Getting to smack down a whitetail like that and the buck that you're after and everything. That's yeah, our archery hunting whitetails is pretty dang cool. It'll drive you crazy too. So,
Oh,
especially
I
some
can
of those
already
places.
tell. Like I had a horrible Alabama season. I mean, it was horrible. No, I mean I had every deer tracked. Like I said, that story. I mean, that wasn't even the first one. I got off on like 6 bucks that season that I was like so sure I was going to take, and it didn't happen. I
Yeah,
ended up taking a whole deer that
same.
nobody else knew that I'd seen 3 years in a row, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, here we go. I guess I'll be the one that eats the tag. Yeah, I was trying to make the most of limited opportunity last year, and I had a hammer of an 8 point, big, just massive 8 point that I wanted to kill. And I'm out there for one of the few weekends that I ended up having to hunt, and it was during the rut, and I had a cold deer come in that we've been watching, and in all honesty, I thought he was a different deer. It was at last light, and I'm trying to make a quick decision based off of him running into the clearing real quick and looking at him through the trees, and then taking the quick shot that I can because he ain't gonna stick around. And it was a cold deer, my mistake. And I mean, not that I'm not saying not grateful for the meat or anything. I'm very grateful for that. But
I know
um,
what you mean now. I feel like every hunter knows what you mean when you
yeah,
say,
yeah, and it rubbed a little salt in the wound when 2 days later, I'm at home and I get a trail cam picture of that 8 point standing in the exact same spot I shot that coal buck in at 4:30 in the afternoon, like the day after I left. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. If I had stayed one more day and obviously not filled my tag on a different deer, I could have made it happen, but that's how the deer hunting world
Oh,
goes. So
dude, you can't look. Like when I
no.
leave my Alabama ranch, like I refuse to check my game cameras for at least a week. Because it's
I
always
I
like
can't help
every
it.
time I leave, like my dad would even text me, he's back. I'm like, I don't care. Like, stop texting me that because I don't think you understand how like bad it actually mentally affects me. Like, I care so much, like I lose sleep over it. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of unhealthy, really and truly. I was like, but that's just the way I'm wired. I was like, so
I
y'all literally can't tell me stuff like that because I will turn around and drive 12 hours there and I will risk my entire career on this deer. I'll do it. Like, I'll
Yeah.
stop teasing me.
Unhealthy obsessions for sure.
There are worse things, I've been told.
Yeah, that's a fact for sure. I could yeah, it could be way worse. Yeah, I don't have that much self-control when it comes to checking my cameras during hunting season. If I see them go off, I want to take a look and I want to see what's there and yeah, unless it's a windy day, then I just get mad because I'm getting too many notifications. So,
Oh, yeah. Gosh, no doubt.
yeah.
Hopefully, with all this technology they're coming out with, that won't be a problem, though.
Yeah, they just keep getting better and better. And I don't know how they do. We use Reveal cell cams over here. We got a partnership with them and I had their one of their reps on the show not that long ago and
Yeah.
he dropped a couple of hints to me on what might be improving in the near future with some of their products, and I was like, dude, I don't know how you're gonna do it. I don't know how you're gonna make them any better. Like, I believe you if you say you improved on those things, then great. But it's like I feel like those things are great now. I don't know how you're gonna make it any better. But
Yeah, that's how I feel with our cameras. They're just like, we have all these improvements coming out and in the app and in this. And all I hear is I got to learn something else. I'm like, okay, well, send the manual so I can get started because
yeah,
it's right around the corner.
sometimes you just want to hunt and not worry about the technology behind the or at least the capabilities you have right now, I should say.
Oh, yeah,
So
sometimes I do that. I'll go
yeah,
to bed at night and I kind of get over that sometimes and I just want to go hunt. I just want to be
yeah,
in the woods. Doesn't matter. Like, I just want to sit there all day. Wouldn't care if I didn't see a thing. It'd still feel the same.
yeah.
Some days you just need that.
Yeah, I agree completely. I know we're getting close to that hour mark. I have closing questions I want to ask, but before we get to those, I did want to ask you about just your archery setup. I know you mentioned that Justin's gotten you set up with an elite bow, but what's the rest of your bow build out look like?
Oh my gosh. Can I just like show you? Since I don't mess
You're
with the
you're
names.
you're welcome to it if you want to, or if you don't know the names off the top of your head, that's fine. I'm always curious on like what kind of broadheads you're shooting or what kind of draw weight you have, that kind of stuff, so that listeners that might be curious, that's always a common question I seem to get for guests and that kind of stuff. So
So I have an Elite Envision set up. I had him pretty much customize all the strings and stuff out. I don't really like colors, so all mine's set up, grays, browns, tans like that. I wanted a tan bow, something you could see. Funny enough, I made Justin go hide behind a tree and hold two bows, and I was trying to pick. He's like, "What color do you like? Can you do something weird for me?" And he was like, "Maybe." I was like, "I need you to take these bows, walk outside behind that tree, and go behind the limb and just hold them." And he goes, "Okay." And he went out there and I'm looking and I was like side to side. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just checking visibility. Like, if I was a whitetail, how easy would this be to see if you moved it?" And he goes, "I have never had anyone do that before." And I was like, "First time for everything. I'll
yeah,
take the one." And he goes, "Well, let's go get it set up."
awesome.
So we set it up. I think mine set at like 54 pounds because I made myself basically a promise that if I couldn't pull above 50, that I wasn't going to hunt with it.
Yeah,
I just
that's
did a lot of personal research. I don't care what anyone else's preference is on that. I did too much research about the ethical side of bow hunting and wanted to make sure that I stayed on that line and I was doing things right. So I was like, until I can pull back 50, we're not taking in the field.
yeah.
With all those reps, Justin's like, "Dude, shoot it 50 times a day and we can turn it up." And he was right. I got it up and I was like, "All right, let's take it." I was like, "I feel like this is ethical now and lethal, so let's do it."
Yeah. No, that's a good threshold, I think. I worked in a bow shop back in the day, and that was kind of That always seemed it varied a little bit depending on the bow model, I felt like, but kind of that 45, 50 range, it seemed like a lot of folks were shooting for that if they were trying to build up that poundage and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. And I have like a 70-inch wingspan, so when we were trying to fit me for women's bows, he's like, these are all like literally just too short for you. And I'm
yeah.
like, yay, I get a boy bow. And he's like, one, I was like, I did. And I was actually hoping that I had like the draw span for it. He's like, oh, you definitely do. He's like, really, the beauty of you being so tall is you can shoot whatever you want.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I didn't need to know that, but it's good to know.
Yeah. It opens up all the options. So perfect.
Like, I'm carrying Matthews. I was like, shh. I just bought a bow last year.
I know. Yeah, we got rigged up with him with some prime bows our team did last year. And we switched from Elite. We shot Elite for many years and everything, had a good relationship with them. We switched and started using some prime bows through Justin last year. And we're at Fall Obsession, we kind of did stuff a little bit different. When we did that, we Prime is not our designated bow sponsor. We're actually have a partnership with Justin and Bear River instead. We opted to go that route instead of the bow manufacturer route right now. Not that you know, can't be more exclusive with a brand in the future, but all as to say, we do have some freedom to shoot what we want out of the Bear River shop. And yeah,
Yeah,
when he started carrying Matthews too, I was like, ooh, dude, you're you're tempting me a lot right now. So
yeah, that's the first thing I asked when I walked in. I was like, you carry Matthews? He goes, no. Does that bother you? I went, no. I'm gonna pull every bow you have back here till it feels right anyway, so it doesn't matter. And he goes, I like it. Open
yeah,
minded. Literally, I didn't care what bow I got. I just wanted it to feel right.
yeah, exactly.
Started with the little Matthews bow. I think it was like the Matthews Craze
Hmm.
3, first bow I ever had, and it was white camo. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, whatever, it looks cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I shoot that. I shoot fixed on those just because I don't feel like I have the poundage to really make the broadheads engage the way they need to yet. I'm working up to 60 pounds. We'll see if I get there. So I
awesome.
think it'd be
Yeah.
cool if I could yank back 60 pounds.
Yeah, I mean anybody that shoots regularly and puts in the effort normally it comes pretty easy it seems like. So
That's what I heard. I'm not gonna lie though, I hadn't touched my bow in like 2 months. It's been the end of summer, and that's not true. I shot some pigs like 2 months ago with my bow, but not as far as like training or anything. Like I hadn't been just drawing back.
yeah.
Got in on some pigs and they came out and I went to pull back, and what I didn't realize is I had not been straight setting on like I'm supposed to frequently. So when we're sitting in the like I can see in the video, like I felt it. I went to pull straight back and I was like, oh, am I gonna get past this? And then I looked up and saw that pig, and the adrenaline re-kicked back in, and I was able to just like, oh, make that last little stretch. And I was like, whew, I don't know if I had that in me twice. I was like, girl, you better start shooting that bow.
Yeah, it's that time of year, myself included. We all got to get back out there and start flinging some arrows again. Season will
Yeah,
be here before we know it.
I need some more arrows. I'm down to 3. Justin's got some literally waiting on me. I just need to go get them.
Yeah, I just when we were there for the grand opening, I picked up some new ones for myself as well. He did a custom job on some for some of our team members, and they came out pretty slick. So I was pretty happy with them.
I didn't even think to ask beforehand. I knew I needed them, but I waited till I went down there and I was like, hi, can you make me some arrows? He goes, yes, Morgan, what do you want?
Get you fixed up.
Something cool.
Well, we've been going for about an hour now and everything. I've enjoyed the conversation. It's gone by quick.
It
But
really has.
yeah, we'll have to build upon it with another one sometime. But I do have some closing questions that I like to ask first time guests on the show. Some people previously called it our rapid fire, but there's nothing rapid about them. It's just they're just conversational questions that I like to throw at our guests. So the first one is pretty easy, but sometimes it leads to some good conversation. We've had some conversation along these lines already, and I think you know your answer, but I have to ask, gun or bow? You can only pick one.
Gun.
Gun. Okay, you surprised me. I thought you were going to go the bow route.
I would. I just feel like there's so many hunts that I've had that I wouldn't have been able to accomplish in my lifetime if I had a bow. Like that easily would have been taken away from me.
Yeah.
And I would those hunts back for anything. So that's where that answer is driven from.
No, fair point. Fair point for sure. Next question is what is your favorite hunting memory to date? And tell us about it. Or Some people have multiple. With one of your favorite hunting memories to date?
Mm,
And it could be one that we've already talked about for all I know, but
honestly, the most recent one was this. I have two that come to mind quickly, and one was my husband. He's been hunting at our place pretty much since we've been together. So he's hunted that place 5 years in a row. And when I tell you that man just does not have the kind of luck we have out there, he doesn't have it. I mean, not doesn't see bucks when he's out there. I mean, I could literally like I got to the point where it's like I have pretty much given up trying to hunt hard out there when he's there. Like I have tried so hard to get him on bucks, and we just have not been able to make it happen until this year. I had a buck. I didn't have any pictures of him last year, but I had pictures of him the year before because he moved over to the neighbors last year and he didn't come back. Well, then I caught him on camera this year. I'm like, man, that looks like that buck from 2 years ago. If that's the case, like he needs to go. That's like 5, 6 year old buck. He's not doing anything different. He was a 7 point still. Looked the exact same as he did 2 years ago. Compared pictures, I'm like, that's the same deer. But he was like huge. Body's huge. Rack's nice and thick, like Coke can rack. But just nothing crazy up top. You know, some just genetically won't do it. He wasn't going to do it. Saw him come out, and then my husband, I was like, go sit in the stand behind me, which is like, I don't know, 250 yards away. I was like, I'm going to bow hunt. You rifle hunt. That deer comes out, take him. Well, apparently the deer came out. And I go get him. I was like, did you see anything? He's like, no, just a buck. I'm like, what buck? And he tells me, I'm like, honey, that was the deer. He's like, no, he looked smaller. I'm like, and I realized that I'm in that moment, I realized I made a mistake because all he hears me talk about and rail on is the age, how to score them, coming up. And I feel like I unintentionally put so much pressure on him from me talking about that and managing our herd that I made him second guess it. And he just like, I kind of took some of the confidence away. And then I realized that happened. I was like, hey, that's my bad. Like, if that deer comes out, take that deer. I know I'm not wrong. I know it's the same deer. You're going to feel good about him when you see him on the ground. Trust me.
yeah.
So really, next morning, we went the next morning. He shot. I heard him shoot, and I'm like, waiting on the text. I'm like, I'm ready to crawl down. Didn't get the text, and I'm like, so I crawl down anyway. Go to the four wheeler. I'm like, he shot something. Like he doesn't really miss. I know he doesn't miss. So I started heading over there, and then sure enough, he's like, I shot a deer. I'm like, why are you saying it like that? He's like, well, I mean, he's like nothing crazy, and I'm like, why'd you shoot it then?
Yeah.
And he, what? I was like, if this is going to be your response to the deer he shot, then why'd you shoot it? And he was like, well, no, it's good. And I'm like, make up your mind. What am I about to walk into, honey? And he was like, no, I mean, I'm 90% sure it's the deer you told me to shoot. I was like, well, 90% is good enough for me. Let's go look. We get down there. It's him. He's ginormous. I think I said something I can't repeat on the podcast, but I was like, are you? And he was just like, maybe. And I was like, dude, this deer is a stud. What is wrong with you? I was like, dude, be happy, smile, laugh, do something cool.
That's
and he was
awesome.
just like, all the stress melt off his face. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. Like, I was just so pumped. He finally got a deer. I think I was more excited than he was. I was freaking out. I was like, I called my dad. I'm like, dude, you guys see this deer Hunter just shot? Like, it's that 6-year-old deer's been coming across the property for like 4 years. Like, I can't wait to show you. And Hunter's just like, shot a deer.
Thumbs up. That's awesome. I love the stories that we get with this question that have nothing to do with you or the guest killing an animal. It has to do with somebody else that is special to them, having a good experience in the woods. I hear that more times than not, I feel like, and it's just it goes to show you just how special moments in the woods can be. So.
Dude, yeah, it's like I've hunted this place my whole life. Like, I just want him to know what this feels like. I want him to have this experience that I've had my entire life. Like, I don't know. That's just something I really wanted to share with him. And then when I was able to, I literally almost cried. I was so happy. I was freaking out.
That's
my dad's
awesome.
like, did you shoot the deer or did Hunter shoot the deer? I'm like, no, Hunter shot the deer. And he's like, well, I can't tell. You're so excited.
I thought it was the other way. That's awesome.
And
Very
then the other
cool.
one, it's super quick.
No, you're good.
We crossed the creek at our property. I was turkey hunting with my dad. I think I was either 13 or 14 years old. My little sister was with me, and you go up the creek, across the creek at our property, and you go up the hill. And there's these two huge oak trees up there, and then it kind of drops down into two bottoms, and we had some like hemp and some clover planted up top, and the turkeys were frequenting. So we went and set up on that hunt, and I wasn't shooting by myself yet, like on turkey hunts, but I was going to that year. But I was like talking to my dad. I remember like not wanting to take my gun for some reason that morning. I was like, I kind of just want to watch you shoot a turkey and take Katie because Katie just started going hunting. So I was like, I'll manage her, whatever. Keep her still, all that stuff. Like I just wanted to have that experience as us, like as a family. So we do. And he's sitting on the tree, and sure enough, he's facing downhill towards the creek. I'm facing this way. My sister's turned this way on this oak tree, and he's on the oak tree beside us. So she's facing that way. I'm facing this way. He's facing backwards. Well, I hear the bird coming up behind me this way. And I'm like, psst. My dad's like, la, 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 la. And I'm like, ah. Like full fan strutting. I mean, a stud of a bird. And I'm like, oh my God, he doesn't see the bird. He can't hear me. I don't know what to do. Then all of a sudden, I feel my sister grab my shoulder. And I mean, like death grip, like fingernails in me. And I'm like, grab her. I'm like, stop moving. And she's like, Morgan. I'm like, Katie, shut your mouth. Be quiet. And like, she's like literally like at this point, like tugging my arm. Like I'm shaking. And I'm like, oh my God, Katie, you're about to blow this whole hunt. I'm like, stop it. And then like, I look up and the bird's like 5 feet from my face.
Wow.
And I'm, oh God, this is so bad. This is bad. This is real bad. Oh, I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. Like I'm trying to just like, I'm not going to look at it. And then I just looked down and I went, Dad, like in a louder voice. And he like literally turns around. He goes, oh. And then about the time he said that, what we didn't know, there's a bobcat 6 feet in front of my sister the entire time.
What?
That's why she's death gripping me. Turkey's looking at the bobcat the whole time. I think it's looking at me. Bobcat's looking at the turkey the whole time. Katie thinks the bobcat's looking at her. And then literally, like about the time my dad turns around, like it spooked the bobcat. Bobcat like jumped back and then just launched over Katie for the turkey. Dad shot the turkey, shot the bobcat, just bam, bam, both dead. And me and my sister both were like, oh my God, like disappeared into that tree.
That is
I
insane.
didn't know what to do when I realized what was going on, but like he made quick work of it and then looked at me and he's like, are you okay? I was like, I think we both just peed our pants. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's
and I was like,
insane.
I can't believe you hit that bobcat. And he was like, I can't believe any of that just happened. Are y'all okay? I was like, no, dude, literally. Katie's like, my sister literally just broke into tears. Like she couldn't say anything because she was just like, I had no clue how long she'd been like watching that bobcat come up that hill stalking that turkey.
Wow.
We couldn't see it. And I wasn't about to turn and look because like I knew better still even at that age. Don't do that. So I was like, sorry. I'm almost bleeding from how hard she had me gripped. She was like, I can't believe y'all almost let me die. I was like,
Golly.
okay, Bobcat didn't even know you were there.
No, the bobcat was paying attention to that turkey. Golly, that's a crazy story. I've never heard of such.
Like, you can't even make that up. It was
No.
like that's me and my dad's favorite hunt story to date.
Wow, that is crazy. Well, Morgan, thank you for sharing a lot of stories with us during this podcast. It's been fun to sit down with you, and we'll have to run it back sometime, maybe after you and your husband's next pronghorn hunt. He said that you're both going up there to Wyoming this year.
That's the plan.
Is he getting a tag?
Yep.
Well, we'll have to hopefully both y'all kill one, and we might have both y'all on the show.
Oh, that would be super cool.
We could see who's more excited.
It's gonna be me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time and I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your passion for hunting and stuff through your stories and everything. It's been fun. Tell our listeners where they can find you if they want to follow your journey.
Yeah, sure. So all my handles are the same. It's MOXO Outdoors. It's the same across Instagram, TikTok. Most of my primary posting hunting stuff is on Instagram because I get pretty much blocked up on every other platform.
Yeah, on TikTok, yeah. We have a TikTok and I have to be very selective with how we edit stuff or what we put on there so that we don't get banned or deleted or whatever they like to do. So I get it.
I have one strike from being banned.
Yeah. I know a few people like that. Yeah, I think we've been doing pretty good lately, trying to keep it that way, at least try to keep them happy. So well, thanks for joining us for Follow-Up Session Podcast. We appreciate it, Morgan.
Yeah, I sure appreciate it. And I hope to talk to y'all soon. This was super fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. Guys, thanks y'all for listening. Be sure you go follow Morgan and everything that she's got going on. Subscribe to the show if you hadn't already. And with that, we'll hang it up. Thanks for listening. I'll be back with you guys again next week for another Fall Obsession podcast. I'll catch you then.
See y'all later.